Hey folks, it's Jim from the Movie Wine, and with John Hillcoat's Prohibition flick Lawless out in theaters, I thought I'd revisit one of his earlier films, the revisionist Australian western The Proposition, set in the Australian outback in the 1880s. Following the rape and death of the Hopkins family, Captain Stanley, played by Ray Winstone, a British lawman who was sent to Australia to civilize it, gets a hold of two of the Burns brothers, Charlie and Mikey, held responsible for this tragedy after a violent shootout. In order to save Mikey, the youngest of the Burns brothers, from being hanged on Christmas Day, Stanley offers a proposition to Charlie, played by Guy Pearce. Charlie and Mikey can go free if Charlie can kill the man Stanley feels is truly responsible, Charlie's older brother Arthur, played by Danny Huston. While trying to make Australia a safer place to live for him and his wife, played by Emily Watson, Stanley deals with the angry locals and his superior, Edwin Fletcher, who want to see Mikey suffer. As for Charlie, not long after a bump-in with a racist Darwinian raider and bounty hunter, played by John Hurt, he is saved from his old gang, headlined by, of course, his brother, the psychopathic but poetic Arthur. Internally, Charlie struggles, wanting to save his younger brother, but not wanting to kill his older brother in the process. If you're not particularly into westerns, The Proposition is something you want to stay away from. It's a barbaric western with harsh violence and jarring reality. Accompanied by a swarm of flies, these are dirty characters that look like they could use a bath. That's also one of the film's great appeals. Setting in Australia, it's a revisionist western where there is very little justice in the face of criminality. Only blood ties have any sense of purpose, even in an uncivilized place, to Stanley's disappointment. Most films would narrowly depict Stanley and to have us sympathize purely with the outlaws opposing the corrupt authority. The Proposition is different. After all, he is a lawman concerned for the well-being of Australia's citizens. Stanley's actions are that of a desperate man trying his best to counter the escalating and overwhelming violence. In a different role than usual for the actor, Winstone gives a commanding performance of a man with his arms tied behind his back. Watson isn't given much to do at first as the supportive wife, but as the film progresses, she's at odds with her husband, failing to elicit punishment to Mikey after Martha lost a good friend in the Hopkins family. When Stanley finally complies with the locals' request, Mikey receives a public lashing, leaving the locals satisfied at first, then disgusted by the brutality later as Martha faints. Lacking in Arthur's sadistic nature, Charlie no longer looks up to his older brother, but finds it difficult to break the bond they share even after initially taking Mikey away from the gang as far as possible. In some of his best work on screen, Huston is charismatically evil, feared by all men. He's a man who can find followers, though, while articulating bemusing monologues of possible depth. Warren Ellis and musician Nick Cave, who also had a hand in the script and is a usual collaborator with Hillcoat, deliver a score that complements the harsh but oddly gorgeous outbacks of Australia. It doesn't quite touch their work of melancholy sadness and regret within the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, but it's still quite the accomplishment. Overall, The Proposition is a meditation on violence, honor, family, and morality. That's it from the Movie Wine. Have a good day, folks. Until next time.